Day. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. Yeah. Welcome. My name is Shannon Smith. I am over the Mo groups or small groups at Momentum. And I don't know if you know this, but before there were Sunday morning public services, there were Mo groups. Mo groups came before we actually started meeting on Sunday morning. Does anybody know what the first Mo group that we ever had was called? Anybody that's been here long enough? Switchback. Anybody know that name? Switchback was the first roller coaster at Cedar Point. And so Dan was like, this is the first Mo group at Momentum, and I like roller coasters, so Switchback it is. And from there, that group soon grew, and we had another leader step up, so we multiplied into two groups. And if you are around Mo groups enough, you're going to hear about multiplication a lot. And it multiplied into two groups. Soon those two groups started growing, and they multiplied, and we had 4 groups. Currently, we have 11 groups this fall, and they're going to meet in different areas around the region. Some are virtual, some are in person, some are every week, some are 3 times a month, others are every other week, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Each Mo group has a few things in it. They always have a leader. They usually are looking for an apprentice leader, somebody that they can train to then become a leader of another group once that multiplies, a host home or a place where they meet, and then the members have somewhat different responsibilities. Like as a member, if your Mo group provides food, like if you eat dinner together, and they all don't do that, but some of them do, if you eat dinner together, somebody might be in charge of creating that sign-up list, and maybe you bring food. You'll hear a lot about food today because we like food. So do we not like food? We like food. We like the food at Mo Group. Other times there's somebody in the Mo Group who might be good at caring for people. Like they know they're really good at remembering people's birthdays and knowing if somebody has maybe a problem or something that they need help with. And their job in the Mo group is not to take care of that person by themselves, but to get the group and rally the group together to remember that person's birthday. Hey, it's this person's birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday. Somebody want to bring a cake? Little things like that that go a long way. Somebody might be in charge of games. Yes, as adults, we do have icebreaker games. But I will tell you, because every time somebody's like, and I just did like a new teacher orientation, and they were like, we're going to play a game. And I was like, I don't want to play a game. Don't make me get out of my seat. Do I have to get out of my seat? Like, geez. But there is a book where Carl George is the author, and he says, never, ever underestimate the power of a game. You get to know people. I mean, there are games that we play. Courtney and I, we have been in lots of Mo groups together. And years, gosh, I don't even know, it might be more than 10 years. 10 years ago, we were in a group, and we were playing some stupid game, and you had to like name a spice. And our friend Brian Mikowski goes, just as confident as ever, pepper jack. It's a cheese, not a spice. And yes, we still make fun of him to this day, even though now he lives in North Carolina. Remember, hey, pepper jack, hey, pepper jack spice. But never underestimate the power of a game. Now, that might be sitting in your seat. We're not always running around and hitting each other with pool noodles. We're not Amplify people. But yes, with our 11 Mo groups, that does not even count Amplify and all the different small groups that Lauren does for our student ministry. We currently have been on a summer break, and that's really to give our leaders and apprentices and hosts a really nice break so that they don't have to worry about who's going to lead, who's going to show up, everybody being on vacation. And it also gives us as a church time. We got a lot of serving things that we do in the summer, so it gives us time to actually prepare for those. And so this morning, we're just going to talk a little bit about Mo groups because we always start the week after Labor Day. Now, I will say, make sure you're checking the small group page. To get to the small group page, the Mo group page on the website, you go to momentumchurch.com, and then you're going to click on the tab that says Community, then click on the tab that says Mo groups. All of them will come up, and you can read a description. You can see when they meet and where they meet. You can join the group. I highly recommend joining the group on there, because if you don't, you can still come. But it does allow the leader to communicate with you just in case they have to cancel, just in case they have to move locations because maybe the host has COVID or something. So you kind of want to be on there so you can get communicated with on a regular basis. So this morning we're going to talk, and I want to invite my friends. These are my friends. Give it up. Here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Renee, Andrew, and Courtney, who are all in a Mo group. And I just asked them, hey, can you come? Because I can talk and I can share with you. But there is nothing like hearing about people's personal experiences. And if you're already in a Mo group, it's just so good to hear other people's perspectives about what you're already doing. And if you're not in a Mo group, it kind of gives you a picture, because it's so hard to go to something that you cannot picture in your mind. So kind of giving you a picture of what it looks like to go to a Mo group. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I'm actually going to start with you, Andrew, and then go to Courtney, and then Renee.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bachna, and my family and I have attended Momentum since about Easter 2018. We live in Northfield Center, and I attend the Mo group Man Up. It's
Man Up.
Thank you. It's a Mo group for men ages 18 and over. We meet on Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. here at the building. And the reason that I wanted to get plugged into Mo groups was so that I could just form deeper, more meaningful relationships with people and just get to know people better beyond what I could have done on just a Sunday morning.
Thank you.
My name is Courtney Quinn, and I currently attend the Thursday night Mo group led by Jeremy Speth. We used to meet in Seven Hills, and we're going to be starting a new location this semester. I've been coming to Momentum for about 17 years, and when I was attending services, they kept talking about Mo groups, and that's what led me to a Mo group, was just hearing about it over and over.
We nagged you.
Yeah.
Gosh,
and,
shut up about the Mo groups.
I just wanted to get to know more people, so that's why I went.
Thanks. And let me check.
I am Renee Bolton. I live in Garfield Heights, and I've been a member of Momentum for, I think, like 10 years now, since we were at Cinemark.
Oh, wow.
So a long time. And I am the host of a book study called The Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy Omartian. And I previously attended the Thursday night group with Jeremy Speth as the leader, but family situations prevent me from doing that right now. So the virtual option fits for me now.
Okay, so I've known Renee a long time. We were actually almost neighbors when I lived in Garfield Heights. And you have a funny story about the first time you went to Mo group. Will you share it?
Yes, all of my stories are funny stories. But
True.
So
were you nervous? I
was
know.
so nervous. Oh my gosh.
Because it's peopling. It's a lot of peopling for you.
It's a lot of peopling. I am an extroverted introvert, and for those of you who don't know, I love hanging out with people. I love my people, but then I just can't people anymore after that. So maybe for days afterward, I need to recharge. So I also make a lot of plans with people, and then I cancel because I just don't want to be in the outside.
Be careful making plans with Renee,
Yes,
I guess is the
but I love you, but no. And so I really don't like large crowds either. I don't like a lot of things. So needless to say, I don't shop in stores on Black Friday. So walking into a room full of people, strangers that I didn't know, was maybe one of the most daunting things I've ever done in my life. I remember sitting in my car. I must have sat in my car for 20 minutes. I had told the host that I was coming, but I had to get the nerve up to actually go inside where the actual Mo group was taking place.
Was it taking place outside?
It was
in the car?
not
No.
out in my car, and I remember she called me and said, "Renee, is that you sitting outside?" I said, "Yeah, that's me." And she came out to the car, she opened the door, she said, "Girl, you've got this." Pulled me out, ushered me into the house. And I remember it was just not what I expected, with all of these people who were so caring and warm and sharing like deep stuff. And I'm like, you know, but they were sharing. And I remember leaving feeling emotionally exhausted, but knowing that I was going to go back.
Yeah, I love that because, and what you'll know is, just for people who go to Mo Group, so I had a guy once tell me, like, it's easy for you. And why? Like, you always want to go. What makes you think I always want to go? Just because we started the church? You know what I mean? So if you, like it's not abnormal to feel like I don't want to go. It's not abnormal to feel anxious. It's not abnormal. I'm sure when you guys, the first time you ever went, there was some sort of anxiety. It's not abnormal to feel like I just don't want to do this tonight. And to still grow, to still go, though, is like spiritual maturity in some ways. So thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it. If you notice, nobody here lives in the same area. I live in Twinsburg. Renee lives in Garfield. Courtney drives from South Euclid and still drives from South Euclid, even though we're a little further down here. Andrew lives in Northfield. So they give up time and they drive to go to a Mo group. It's not something that's like right beside their house. Some people might think, I already go to a worship service on Sunday morning. Please don't make me do that twice. But Mo groups, they're not a worship service. So Courtney, I'll throw this one to you. How does a Mo group differ from like a typical Sunday morning worship service where we're sitting in rows?
Yeah, so each week you get to know the people in your Mo group a little bit better. You grow closer relationships. Some of your best friends, you make in Mo group. We are all just doing life together. We're encouraging each other along the way. This is a group of people that will pray for you. You can ask for prayers. You can share your praises. There is no need, big or small, that your Mo group won't help you with. I've seen Mo groups help people move. We deliver meals for someone in your Mo group that, say, has a baby or there's a death in the family. They're there to help your kids with events and cheer your kids on at events and activities. So it is really like lifelong friendships that you make in Mo groups.
Yeah, it's really moving from the rows that are here on Sunday morning to most of the time in a Mo group, we're sitting in a circle. Now, sometimes it's more of an amoeba, but it's some sort of circle-ish type of thing because you're interacting with each other. So there are a lot of different small groups. Small groups are not only in churches. You can have small groups at your workplace. You can have some sort of small group in an organization. So I'll just, for Renee and Courtney, can you guys just kind of explain, because I know you're in different types of groups, what other types of groups are you part of that aren't faith-based, and how does that differ from a Mo group? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm in several book clubs. Surprise.
Renee's a reader. Wait, how many people, by a show of hands or by clapping, how many people love to read in here? Do we have any more readers? Oh, you're in good company.
My people. So yeah, I'm in several book clubs, and I'm also a member of the Garfield Heights High School Marching Band's Band Boosters. So I don't really have time for anything else because my book clubs. But I believe that Mo groups are different in the way that I'm able to live life with people. I feel that in my Mo group, we're trying to live in a way that's pleasing to the Lord, right? And that gives us a different bond and connection than what I have with people who are on the board at Band Boosters, for example. I may have a good time hanging out with the people who are on the the board at the Band Boosters, but I can't do life with them the way that I can with people who are like-minded and trying to live for Christ, the way I do with my Mo Group peeps.
Yeah, and I currently go to a gym where I have a core group of friends there. Obviously, we're all there just to work out and talk about our fitness goals and stuff like that. So we don't have an opportunity to talk about our faith. That's what makes our Mo Group so unique, is that we're seeing everyone once or twice a week and participating in group lessons, discussions. We're talking about what Scripture says and how we're applying it to our lives.
Yeah, if you're in a Mo group, because some Mo groups do like a book study, for example, but we have a lot of Mo groups that whatever is talked about on stage, they just continue that conversation as a discussion. So by the time the week has ended, a lot of times you've heard that Bible story or scripture at least 4 times. And what you remember, because if you hear something 4 times, you're more likely to remember it. What you remember, you put into practice. And so it's really good, just like you were saying, it's discussion-based. Acts 2:42, this comes from the beginning of the church. So when the church first started, it met in people's homes, in Mo groups, in small groups. So I want you to listen to what this says. It says, and they, the believers, devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching about Jesus, to the fellowship, hanging out, to the breaking of bread, food, and to the prayers. Then fear came over everyone, and many wonders and signs were being performed through the apostles. I don't think that's happened in any of our Mo groups, but back then. Now all the believers were together and held all things in common. They sold their possessions and property and distributed the proceeds to all, as anyone had a need. Every day they devoted themselves to meeting together in the temple complex and broke bread from house to house. They ate their food with a joyful and humble attitude, praising God and having favor with all the people. And every day the Lord added to them those who were being saved. So a couple things I want to mention and that I want you to notice. One, this is not communism. When it says they had everything in common, it wasn't like they all had the same salary or the same type of house or ate the same type of food, and like we all have to be equal in what we have in our material possessions. This is not what that means. It means like when it says they had everything in common, it's a mindset. We're all trying to follow Jesus together. And some might be wealthy and some might not. Some might have a need and the others might come together and I'll sell what I have to help my brother out, to help my sister in Christ out. That's what that means. This is not like a commune, but more of a group that takes care of each other, because this is how God wants us to treat each other. And another thing I want you to notice, at the end of that it said, and every day the Lord added to them those who are being saved. One thing that makes a Mo group very different from maybe other organizations or small groups, which I love, like I love the groups, like I'm in groups that are outside of Momentum. But one thing that's different is at the end of the day, a Mo group grows you spiritually. And just like this, the Lord added to them those who were being saved. People come to know Jesus. So you grow in your relationship with Jesus, and more people get added to God's kingdom. And that is an amazing thing that takes this small group, these Mo groups, and make them different from anything else you will do. But what you learn in Mo group, guess what? You then can take to your other groups where people don't know Jesus and tell them about Jesus and maybe invite them to your Mo group a little later. So how has, Andrew, I'll start with you. How has being part of a small group influenced your faith journey? Like if Mo groups, the main purpose is to influence your faith, to grow you spiritually, how has that done that for you?
Yeah, I've dug a lot deeper into God's Word, and there's a couple different studies that had it not been for the Mo group that I just never would have done. A couple of studies that come to my mind, we did an apologetics study about a year or so ago that was primarily Frank Turek material, and apologetics is defending your faith, and Dan did a pretty good course back in 2021 titled Footholds. So this recent apologetics study that we had at Mo Group was a good refresher course, and I feel that it made me more confident and better equipped to be able to witness to non-believers. Then the second study that comes to my mind or that sticks out is an important one that we've done was titled Making Spaces by the author Jeff Vanderstelt. And basically it goes on to a lot of different areas in your life, such as family and friends and finances and work, and just how you can approach those areas from a Christ-centered perspective, and how to approach each of those areas with godly wisdom. And the area that kind of stuck out to me was work. And I like my job and everything, but like it can sometimes be easy to fall into a negative attitude or mindset. So one of the key verses that we focused on in that session was Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 through 24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So just approaching work with that perspective as if I'm working for the Lord, that's been a little bit of a shift in my attitude and my perspective, and I'm still not perfect at it, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, thanks. Renee, how about you? How has it like influenced your faith journey?
So being part of a small group has allowed other people to get to know me. I'm very guarded by nature, and I don't easily let people behind the curtain because I'm a lot. And that was a Wizard of Oz throwback for behind the curtain. Okay. So being part of a Mo group has helped me have opportunities for people to kind of peel back the layers that make up Renee. Having people get to know me means they get to know all my quirks, my food quirks, my people quirks. And then these people, in turn, they help me have space to just be me. I may get teased at Mo Group or whenever they see me about my food issues, but these are the same people who will tease me and then turn around at Mo Group and come to me privately and say, this is what's in that food, that dish that I brought. Or they will come to me and say, I brought all these things separately so that you could put it together yourself. Because these people in my group have learned about my past traumas with food, and so they know why I am the way that I am. And so they just give me opportunities to just kind of be comfortable in my Mo groups. People have gotten to know me, and as a result, I had the opportunity to go to Pennsylvania, and we went to see Priscilla Sharer, and I'm probably not pronouncing her name right, but you know. But I stayed in the house with 8 other women, 8 people.
A full 8 people. Wait, you have 6 kids. You have 8 people in your family.
I have 8 people in my family, but they all have their own rooms. They don't come in mine. So it was a lot.
I'm proud of you, Renee.
It was a lot. But because they know me, these people that I went to this conference with, you know, when I said, I can't people anymore, I'm going to my room, they all, you know, oh, okay, good night, we'll see you tomorrow. And they didn't bother me. Well, most of them didn't bother me. Crystal, Speth. Oh, honey, are you mad at me? Are you okay? But
She
everybody
apologized.
else, yes, she apologized that I was done peopling. But everybody else just, you know, let me have my space, and they understood how I am, and, you know, just let me be me. So because of going to a Mo group, I've had the opportunity to just grow my faith in ways that I would not have been able to had I not gotten to know people in my Mo groups who just give me the space to be a crazy me.
Yeah, I love that in a Mo group, just expect to grow spiritually and relationally. And that, it takes some time. It's not something that happens in a week, I'm not gonna lie. It takes time to get to know people. It takes time to peel back the layers. It takes time to talk about food quirks, but they actually come from trauma. I mean, that just takes a lot of time. But in that process, you're getting all the resources, and you're getting like knowledge of the Bible and how to apply it, so much so that it's making you, man, going to a Mo group and being around Jesus should make you a better worker, a better coworker, a better boss, a better parent, a better spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, friend. Like, it just bleeds out into every other part of you. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. As you're with these people and just doing life with them, it's gonna rub off on you. But the biggest reason I know that people don't attend a Mo group or fluctuate and when they can attend is just busyness. Like, right? I mean, are you all busy? I know that I'm busy, super busy. So many people have to juggle multiple responsibilities on a daily basis. And so I would love to know from you guys, how do you juggle the responsibilities and justify going to a Mo group? Because, and I'll use the word justify because honestly, it's a sacrifice. Like, you have to give up something, usually 2 hours. By the time you've driven there, driven back, it's usually like 2 hours. You've given up time maybe with a spouse, maybe with kids, maybe with an animal. Like, it could be time that you could use, that you need to work. It's a sacrifice to go. So I don't want to pretend that that doesn't exist, that there are times it is so difficult. So how do you justify giving up that time? I'll start with Renee. We'll start with you again.
So listen, I have 6 kids and a husband, so 7 kids. So I know
Poor Joseph.
I know busy. But an author once said, we make time for the things that are important to us. And I strongly believe that with my whole self. Growing my relationship with Jesus and loving God and loving people, that's like the most important thing to me. So, you know, I've had to become very creative in how I carve out time for a Mo group. Last year, my schedule changed because I had children who needed to be in 500 different places, all on Thursday nights. And, you know, one person can't do it all. So I was no longer able to attend my Thursday night group. But I realized quickly how that disconnect affected me spiritually, emotionally, and so I had to find a way that fit with my family situation, just to make it work. But you know, that's not to say that, you know, we know life sometimes comes at you, and it won't let you be great. And sometimes, you know, life just makes it. Maybe you can't attend a Mo group for a while. But, you know, that happens because we know that life can come at us hard sometimes. I know this personally. But if it's important to you, you'll figure out a way, knowing that it's all for Jesus.
Andrew, how about you?
Yeah, my wife Ashley and I were very intentional about making our Mo groups a priority. So her Mo groups meet on Monday nights and mine meet on Wednesday nights. And we try not to ever, when possible, schedule anything on Monday or Wednesday nights so that we're able to go to our Mo groups and the other one's able to be there and take care of our kids so we don't have to worry about arranging any childcare or anything. And that also kind of gives us each a night out, which is a nice thing. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is a commitment. Yeah. It's going to be a couple hours a week. But in the scheme of things, the whole week, it's a relatively small chunk of the week.
Yeah, I also make attending a Mo group a priority because I want to be there. I want to just make it part of my weekly routine. When my son was younger, he was in sports and different activities, and we didn't have many free nights. And so because there were so many offered throughout the week, I just found one, even if it was my only night of the week that was free, that was the night we were going. I never felt like it was an inconvenience because I was growing spiritually. I was enjoying my time there, and I always left in a better mood.
Yeah, I will say, I'll give a little parenting tip. Dan and I, we used to host a Mo group, and hosting, I will say, is, I think, one of the hardest jobs at Momentum. So I'm looking at some hosts and I'm like, yeah, it's one of the hardest jobs. An hour before people get to your house, you're like trying to clean and hide stuff. But it's also one of the most rewarding that so many people have found Jesus in my living room and on my couch. And I think that's really cool. But our kids, we would be cleaning, and especially when they were little, they would just, we weren't at their beck and call at that point, right? And then we'd have Mo group, and people are coming in their house, and as they got older, they have homework to do, and people were in their house. So we really tried to make it fun. So my little tip on parenting is, when you have days that are like church days, Sundays and Wednesdays are what it was for us, that we had momentum stuff that we had to do. Those were the days my kids could have pop and play games as much as they wanted. And so they ended up loving those days instead of like hating those days. Does that make sense? So just wanted to throw that little parenting tip in there. Renee, I'll ask you this. How has participating in a Mo group helped you build stronger relationships within the church and especially facilitated your involvement in the church?
So when you're in a Mo group and you share your innermost desires and dreams and struggles and just regular life with people on a weekly basis, you develop just like a bond that's unbreakable. In turn, it makes you more connected when you see these people on Sundays, right? So you hear about all the things that are going on at church through the weekly announcements at your Mo group. And so I know at the Thursday night group, we've always stressed serving. And so it's kind of contagious at our Mo group. So if someone in our group comes in and says, I've got a great idea, everybody jumps in. Everybody wants to know how they can help. And so when you're in that situation, I've found that it has helped me want to serve more, the more that I serve. So it just has become a way that I know I'm being the hands and feet of Jesus in a concrete way.
Yeah, thanks. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. And then Hebrews 10:24-25 says, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. That being in a Mo group, it will spur you on to love and good deeds, both inside the church and outside of the church. I'll ask you real quick, I'll ask all of you, where do you currently serve right now?
I serve in Mo Kids in the baby room, and I'm also an online host.
I currently serve on the greeting team and the cleaning team.
And wait, you've served in a lot of places too.
I've served in Mo Kids, I've emceed, I've hosted a Mo group, I've been on the women's retreat committee, so you try it all.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
And I'm the apprentice leader of the Man Up Mo group. I am on the greeting team, and then I've helped lead and plan the annual men's camping trip.
Awesome. Okay, so a couple more questions. One, just tell me, what do you love about Mo group? And just really quickly, what do you love about Mo group? What's your favorite thing?
My group is not a traditional Mo group because we meet virtually, but because we meet virtually, I love that we have people in my group that are from all over. Anybody can join my Mo group because it's on Zoom. So we have people in my group that are, they don't live in Ohio. We have people who may be from here, but they either don't have small groups at their church, or they just don't attend a small group at their church, or they were, interested in the topic of the book study that I'm doing. So what I love most about my group is the variety of people that attend. It makes me feel like this is what heaven will be like, with so many different people loving and praising God.
Yeah, and we have a really good group of men at Momentum. Everybody that goes to the Man Up Mo group wants to be there. It doesn't feel like there's a sense of obligation or anything. We have a couple more seasoned people in our group that have more life experience.
What do you mean more?
I messed up during the 8 o'clock service and called them something else, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. But we have a couple people Jim Orzak and Russ Goodwin have been really instrumental in helping lead the group and provide their life experience to people. And they're always just willing to just pour their advice and life experience into other people.
Yeah, and I will say Russ went on to multiply into, that's how we got Rejoice in Recovery.
Yeah, and the last couple of years leading with Justin Hengel has really been a blessing. He's anybody that knows him or spent time with him, you can tell how genuine he is and how much he legitimately cares about the people in the group. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to talk about the potlucks we have once in a while. So like every 5 or 6 weeks we have a potluck. And I always thought our potlucks were like pretty like normal. And then I attended a potluck for my wife's Mo Group Connect. And their food was really good. Like I remember the Thomases brought turkey burgers and they were really good. But like somebody brought a veggie tray and I'm like, we don't have these kind of like healthy foods at the men's
Things
potlucks.
like vegetables.
Yeah, we usually have like barbecue meatballs, barbecue smokies, barbecue wings. We have pizza, hot dogs. But the best thing, my friend Jason Campbell, he started bringing Taco Bell, and he made the mistake of bringing it for the first time, and after that, he's like the Taco Bell guy. So anytime we have a potluck before, like a week before, next time I'll see him and I'll say, hey, look, you know what you need to do, right? And there's certainly a lot of peer pressure.
Is that his role now in the
Yeah.
group? He's Taco Bell guy.
Yeah, but and it just keeps escalating. Like I think like the last time he probably spent like $45 on Taco
Oh
Bell.
my God!
But he knows how much we appreciate him, and it's all for Jesus. And
obviously Taco Bell.
yeah. But no, we're just a group of guys so that we're trying to get to know each other better and like build our relationships and learn more about God. So.
Thank you.
I love the people. Some of my best friends I've met in Mo Group, and these are lifelong friendships. Yeah. It's not friendships that are over when Mo Group's over. I love the games that we play. There's a lot of laughing in Mo Group. The meals, sometimes it's the best meal of the week that you'll have.
Sure.
So, and then the discussions, again, a lot of laughing in Mo Group. You will leave Mo Group remembering the discussions, and like Shannon said earlier, you'll still be talking about some of the funny things years to come.
Yeah.
Even if you're a senior.
Yeah.
Even if you're a senior. I had asked them, like, what advice would you give to people who might be hesitant about joining a Mo Group or just anxious? And I'll just read down the list. Renee said, just find a friend. And this was interesting to me. It wasn't find a friend to bring with you, although you should do that. Find a friend, bring them with you. But pick someone you really want to get to know, ask them what Mo Group they go to, and go with them. That's how you're going to get to know them. Andrew said, I know how awesome it is to get first-time guests. So if you're hesitant, I just need you to know, Andrew wants you to know, Mo Groups love getting new people. They expect new people to come. And when you're there, they want you to be there. It's just good to know before you go, right? It's good to know before. I didn't even mean to rhyme. Dan is going to be so proud of me. Little rapper. But seriously, it's not going to be a click that you can go. And it's going to be awkward. I'm not going to lie. I can't like sugarcoat it. Anytime you go somewhere for the first time, it's a little bit awkward, but people want you there. And you add something to the group. And Courtney was just like, don't overthink it, just go. So don't overthink it, just go. They start really soon. So I'm going to run down real quick. We're going to put graphics on the screens. Check these out. See if any stick out to you. And these are all online, like I said. The first one's Cannonball. This one meets the second, third, and fourth Mondays of the month at 7 p.m. in Northfield. Did it come up? There it is, Cannonball. In Northfield, 3 times a month this one meets. Connect, second, third, and fourth Mondays. Another 3 times a month over here, 6:30 p.m. in Hudson. Great group. Hang Time, 3 times a month, second, third, and fourth, but this one is a Wednesday, not a Monday. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. in Independence. That's the Lou's house. Number 4, Impulse, what? Thursdays. This group is specifically for people who have adult children. Wonderful, amazing group led by Miss Joyce up here. Thursdays, 7 p.m., it's virtual, and they also will get together in person once a month, and that's why you want to join so you get that information, and that's in Brecksville. Man up on men, the men's group on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. here at the building. Moms Meetup, led by Mindy Lover, second Friday of the month. So this is a once a month. Second Friday of the month, 9:30 in the morning here at the building. This is one led by Renee, The Power of a Praying Wife, which is women. It's virtual. It's every other Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And then we have our Rejoice in Recovery group led by Russ. That's a 12-step Christian-based support group. That's Saturdays here at the building, 10 a.m. Shine, one of our newer groups. It's for women on Tuesday nights here at 7 p.m. at the building. And it's this semester, this fall semester, they're doing a women's Bible study by Beth Moore, one of the newer ones. So that looked really great. 10, the next one, the Body Revelation. This is a new type of Mo group. Melissa Higgy brought this. She was like, hey, can I lead this? And it looked great. So this one's a little bit different type of Mo group. It's a virtual group, a virtual book study, a book club, but you do weekly challenges. So the book has like weekly challenges that you as a woman will do. You'll communicate throughout the week, maybe through text, or like Discord or something, the group will decide. And then once a month, you'll get together virtually to discuss the chapters, actually. But this one kind of has some homework to it that will lead you in the Body Revelation. And then the Thursday night group, guess when it is? Thursday nights, 6:30 p.m. As of right now, it's at the building. We may have a location change, but as of right now, it's going to be here. And then there'll be more in the spring after Christmas. I know we're going to be doing Financial Peace University. Really excited about that. And then maybe some different book studies. I just want to end just a couple of challenges. If you're not in a Mo group, I really just pray that you'll get the courage to try one out. You're going to have anxiety. You're going to have a little bit of nervousness, but the only way to grow is to push through it. And so just pray about which one's right for you. And I would say try to commit to at least 6 weeks. You know, you can't learn anything in a week. The Mo group may have had a bad night even. Mo groups have bad nights. So give it a couple weeks before you make a decision. If it doesn't work out, maybe that's a wrong night for you or the wrong location, feel free to try another one. If you're in a Mo group, man, invite people from Momentum. Even, you might not know if they're in another Mo group, but they'll tell you. And so say, awesome, glad you're in another Mo group, and consider being an apprentice. If you are a baptized believer in Jesus, man, consider being an apprentice. We need to continue to multiply. We got a new parking lot coming. Like, that's going to bring more people. We need more people to step up and say, I know it's a commitment, but I'll lead. Because why? People need Jesus. Like, people need Jesus. For my young adults, so our young adults, late teens, early 20s, we had a group. That group is in transition. We're looking for another leader and trying to figure out some new things, an adult team to help with that and a student-led team to help with that. So we're in transition. Don't give up on us. But feel free to attend any of the other groups while we're in that transition. And if you have an idea for a Mo group, like, man, what I really want, it's not one of those. Tell me. Think outside the box. That's what's going to make this so great. What I love about Mo groups is how eclectic they are. Not just with people inside the Mo group, but what kinds that we offer. And so, thank you for listening, and I really do pray that you'll check out a Mo group in the next couple weeks. Will you pray with me, please?